I made the first part of this video a few months back, and after constantly seeking God and praying and fasting and being under great ministry, I realized I didn't understand the fullness of forgiveness. I didn't understand the totality of forgiveness. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel where I share about all things faith, inspiration, and lifestyle. I am Brittany Lachey. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go ahead and hit subscribe and click the notification bell so that you will be notified when I post new videos. Now, I did notice that although I do not have many views, there are a few of you that return and watch. So I just ask that you go ahead and click subscribe and become a part of my family so that you do not have to search for me and, constantly check to see if I've posted a video. You will be notified by YouTube. So go ahead and do that for me now. Thank you. Being perfectly honest, I know that the Lord has called me to be transparent or vulnerable about certain things. Sometimes it can be a little difficult for me to express myself or feel comfortable about how I expressed myself. That's what I'll say. And after I did that video, of course you have to watch to edit, unless you just be like, okay, whatever, let me post it. But I kind of felt funny because of the raw emotion, and then I felt like I was being raw, but then later I understood that I didn't have all the facts about forgiveness. I learned that the forgiving someone, it is for you. Number one, the forgiveness is for you. But forgiving someone else, it is not about your feelings. You forgive by faith. And a lot of times when you find yourself spiraling or getting mad or upset about something that happened in the past that you can no longer control, that is the enemy trying to take you back to a place that you've already removed yourself from. You've already forgiven the person. You've already asked God to help you with the forgiveness. And so I almost felt like I wanted to take it down because I felt like I could possibly mislead someone. But then, me and God started talking, and he reminded me that I said I would share my faith journey. I rededicated my life back to Christ in 2022. So this is my journey with him. This is the rebuilding of my intimate relationship with him. This is my faith walk. And I feel like there are a lot of people who make the journey with Christ seem as if it's so easy sometimes. Sometimes it is. It's much easier. There's so much contentment and happiness in obeying my Father, in adhering to his covenant and being in right standing with him. But during those times when I have to obey and I'm not sure, or I feel insecure about what I'm doing, although I know he has me, those are the times that can be a little challenging, if you will. The forgiveness does not have to be a long journey. Because I'm going along my journey, I also learned that me calling the declaration, because that's what I'll call it now, the forgiveness declaration, Thank you. I love you, but I release you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. In Jesus' name, amen. I was still referring to it as a mantra. Now, if we want to be honest, we know where mantra stems from, but there is a definition that basically breaks it down as a declaration. Now, I was watching other leaders who are in perversion. And now this was a year or so ago. Yeah, no, I no longer watch them, but this was last year. So I felt like it was okay until I recently understood that that is perversion when you mix different religions, because that's exactly what they were doing. And before I was convicted, I thought it was okay. That's another reason why I wanted to take it down, but I want to correct, because I want to correct it publicly, because again, I don't want anyone to feel like it's a straight walk in the park and you're supposed to get everything right. So yes, the forgiveness is for you. And outside of the enemy trying to make me feel like I did not forgive, I didn't allow myself to accept what happened. I wasn't accepting what happened. I kept saying, how could they? Or I can't believe. Or why did it take me so long? And I wasn't saying, God, thank you for revealing this to me. Although it took years, thank you for showing me this. This is what it is. I accept it, and now help me heal and move on from this. And I remember this was actually during one of the 3-day fast. We had to keep saying, that naming the people and saying what we forgive them for. And before I knew it, I was like really praying in the spirit and asking for forgiveness. I said, Lord, I forgive them for betraying me like I betrayed you. Like I betrayed you when I denied you, when I denied your name. And it really started to break me down, because when a lot of times when we feel people have did us so wrong, or they betrayed us and they did this and that very well may be the case. And a lot of times, sometimes we don't know that we've hurt other people in the process as well, unknowingly and unintentionally. So we walk around with this chip on our shoulder, not understanding that that person who we feel did us so wrong, or them crossing us, or being disloyal to us, or betraying us, whatever the case may be. Oftentimes, we're being shown how we operate with God. We're being shown how it feels to break the covenant with God. We're being shown how it feels to be so loyal and devoted and forgiving to a person, and they discard everything that you do for them. So after that particular fast, that really helped me in a major way. Even before that, it was between February and April, I was really in my feelings, really being stubborn. And a lot of times, I'm not stubborn. Well, yeah, I didn't want to acknowledge it. So a lot of times when I see people who've had to release other people in obedience, like if I read comments and everything, it's always, I haven't talked to this person in this long. I walked away from this person, and so on and so forth. I don't feel like people are truly vulnerable, and I feel like not acknowledging how you really feel, that is what keeps you in the cycle of feeling like you didn't forgive, or you haven't forgiven that person. This is something else that I've struggled with, feeling like if I'm talking about it, then I haven't forgiven, or I haven't released it. In February, April timeframe, ride with me now. I was just feeling some kind of way, And I was being stubborn because I wasn't checking in with myself. I was having all of these feelings, and I started emotionally eating. Lord, thank you that you've delivered me from that. And I wasn't checking in with myself. I wasn't saying, what's wrong with you? Or, God, what's wrong with me? Why am I eating so much? Or what am I trying to keep down or bury? And because I wasn't doing that, listen to me. God will reach you anywhere you are, wherever you are, anytime you need him, even when you don't call on him or seek him. You think Maxwell came out with whenever, wherever, whatever, baby? No, I probably had that in the wrong order, but you catch my drift. Because I was having my praise and worship time, but then these other songs started popping in my head. Now I'm gonna keep it real and be vulnerable for my people who are not too religious. So different songs started coming to me. One was Boys to Men, I'm Doing Just Fine. Now there are certain R&B songs, especially if it's neo soul and it's about love and it's harmless, I do listen to those songs. But trap, let me say about 500,000 cuss words in this song, with this beat that is very low vibrational. I no longer listen to those songs. Of course, if on YouTube or if I jump on TikTok for a little bit, I'll run into those songs, but by choice I don't listen to it. So the song Boys to Men, I'm Doing Just Fine, I was listening to that. I'm singing with it, and the song empowered me. Because it's the part that says, and I ain't missing you at all. And he, does that long note. So I continued what I was doing. And this song started coming to me. Man, I miss my dogs. And I'm like, why is this song popping up? This is an old song. So it kept popping up in my head. I'm like, I'm not listening to that. Because one of the reasons that I don't listen to that music, because the Lord is delivering me from using vulgar language, from having a potty mouth when I get mad. And so that's one big reason why I don't listen to stuff like that anymore. But the song kept playing in my head. So I went ahead and I pulled it up on YouTube. And when I started listening to that song, I was crying. I listened to it a few times and I cried because I had to be honest with myself. Although I've been obedient, and I'm thankful that I've been obedient to what God has called me to do, you can still feel two things simultaneously. I can still feel content. I can still feel happy. But on the other hand, I'm sad and I'm grieving because I thought my life would be different. Because I'm such a loyal person, I thought all of these people would still be in my life, and they're not. And it's a hurtful thing. It's a hurtful thing. And so that's something that I had to come to terms with and accept that, yes, I did this. Yes, I was obedient. Yes, they did this to me. But guess what? I wasn't perfect. But also, I can still be obedient. I can still forgive. I can still not have them a part of my life. And I can still miss them at the same time. I feel like that's why a lot of people struggle with forgiveness, or they stay in that angry place, because they feel like if they surrender to how they truly feel, it makes them weak, or they feel like they didn't forgive them, or the other person won. Or then on the flip side, if I forgive them, then they have to be a part of my life, when no, that's not the case. So those are all the things that I've learned about forgiveness. And I'm being gentle with myself in the process. And I want you to be gentle with yourself in the process of grieving. Grief is not just for a deceased loved one. It is for different things that you thought would come to pass. It could be something as simple as, I really had high hopes for that job, but it didn't happen. It could be something as simple as, and it's not even simple. It's, I miss you, but I can't believe that I don't have the desire to talk to you. I miss them, but it's so strange that I feel better and I'm at peace and I'm happy. So it's this duality that you can wave in between when it comes to forgiveness. That's how it's been for me. And I know I'm not by myself. And then also how I know that I've truly forgiven. And again, you forgive by faith. So it does not mean that the enemy won't try to bring up something and, put you back in that mad space. You have to rebuke that and say, no, I've forgiven them. I've released that. I've forgiven them by faith. But how I know that I've forgiven is because, one, if you know me, you know I have a great memory. Now I'm getting a little older, so it fluctuates sometimes. But I always remember people's birthdays, especially if we're close, if we're tight. I always remember people's birthdays. So when someone's birthday comes around, even though I don't text, even though I don't reach out, I'll say, happy birthday, such and such. I hope you have a great day. Or I sit back and I have my moments. I have my stony moments at the end of Set It Off, where she was crying, laughing, reminiscing on when all of the good times that they had. So I have those moments and I allow myself to feel and be okay and cry if I have to, because sometimes grief comes along with forgiveness, and you're also working through your feelings. There is Matthew 6:14 that says, if you forgive men of their trespasses, then your Father will also forgive you. In order for me to receive the blessings of God, in order for me to truly reap the benefits of being in covenant with Christ, then it is imperative that I forgive others, because I can't afford not to. I just want to go back to what I said about feeling like if I'm talking about certain things or if I'm sharing certain things, I haven't forgiven, or I'm upset about this, when that's not the case. Again, your feelings can lie. And I also learned that I can't be disobedient to what God has called me to talk about because I don't feel right about it, or I feel like I said this, or I feel like they may feel some kind of way about it. And he said, them or me? Is it them or me? I just wanted to share my heart and share my thoughts and the new truths that I've learned when it comes to forgiveness. Forgive others. Forgive those who trespassed against you, because ultimately the forgiveness is for you. And you can feel different ways, but it doesn't mean that you haven't gotten over what happened, because you've forgiven by faith. I hope you received something from this video. I hope that this video blesses you, and if it did, please share it. Again, go ahead and hit subscribe and click the notification bell so that you will be notified when I post new videos. Once again, I am Brittany Lachey. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.